But I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you.
You have part of my attention. You have the minimum amount.
I'm the guy who does his job. You must be the other guy.
You got a lot of problems, don't you?
Oh, it's good to be back.
Eat shit. Eat shit. Eat shit.
Smug smile.
Definitely eat shit.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
You can't handle the truth.
We're back. Everyone's still alive. I just realized we're pre-recording this during coronavirus, and we're all still here, so that's a good thing. So we're all making it all through these episodes. This is episode 70 through 61 of the top 100. A peek behind the curtain when we're recording this. I just recorded the first live episode, and that was yikes. I'm glad this group's better. Barr, you've had some choices, and you've added a lot of things to your list. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I think this is going to be my least interesting section of my list until the last movie, where things are going to get heated between myself and one particular person on this list. Otherwise,
it's me.
Maybe, who knows? Otherwise, I think people are going to at least know all of the movies that I mentioned. There's not going to be one where people are like, never heard of it.
Does anybody ever think Barr's like a mad scientist that says, hey, let's pour acid on it and see what happens? I don't trust him. He seems like he's normal, but I don't trust him.
He's like the crocodile hunter. Was like, this animal could be dangerous. To find out, I'm going to poke him as stick as hard as I can.
The next person I definitely don't trust. I like him a whole bunch, but he's the guy that watch a movie about Andrew Barr if there was enough blood and guts. It's Mike Hanley. Mike! How's this week going to treat us? Hopefully we're still in the air after your few episodes.
One is everyone's going to have heard of all these movies. And two, yeah, I don't think it's as psycho as the rest of my choices. So it's pretty normal this week.
I mean, if you knew Mike, you know he likes Spielberg, but by his list, you can't tell that at all at this point. Next, we got Cameron. Are you going to hide off screen by the time Mike brings up some movies this week? Or are you feeling confident that this week is going to be a good week for you?
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Yike Hanley, but this week, I think over the last 3 episodes, I've been maintaining pretty good will until my 71, which Cody was not happy about. This week, there's going to be some high highs. There's going to be some low lows.
Oh, boy.
There's movies I know you like. There's movies I know you hate. So this is going to be fun.
I'm so excited. And Azaria, I feel like we were turning the corner on the last episode of, man, Nazario actually does like good films. Is that going to continue? Or are we going to go right down the hill again?
No, we're going back to it again.
The Witches 2.
There's going to be a bunch of things that
Witchier.
I like. I think.
Kill me. Okay, so last week, the last couple weeks, we're just going to take back. Unless Koho did not update the graphics on this one, which is totally okay. He just needs to let me know. We can edit here if he didn't.
No.
Okay, so we're going to cross that out. Before we kick off, I'm going to step away for 2 minutes, and I'll be right back because parenting. So talk amongst yourself real quick because I already have to edit.
Okay.
I'm a moron, and I forgot that I'm supposed to keep the yikes list from the last episode to show at the beginning of the episode. And actually, I might still have it. Give me half a second. Let's see.
I was going to say, wouldn't it just be the same list from the end of last week?
Well, homie, I have to re-upload the file. That's what I'm fucking saying. I'm trying to see if I have the file still.
How do you do parenting in 2 minutes?
I know some people.
Question.
Some people become parents in 2 minutes, but
I have it. Never mind. I have it. I'm just gonna
bring it up.
I upload this. Still, it's the 80 to 71. Where'd you go?
This is probably gonna be a rough. I'm gonna take some time and I'll be back.
I'm in a chair that isn't 2 feet off the ground.
Are you still using that wooden chair?
I'm still using that wooden chair because it doesn't kill me.
Has it gotten any better at all?
Yes, I could actually sit up in less than 5 minutes. So,
all right. Well, that's good.
That was it. Yeah, that is it. There we go. We did this. I am producer man. Hear me roar.
I don't know if it's a roar as much as it is just a.
I am producer man.
Hear me mildly roar as I drink water and suck down Tylenol.
There we go. I totally forgot I had to write questions for miscellaneous today.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, it's Sunday.
Yeah.
There's miscellaneous today.
Yeah, there is.
I'm eligible to play. Will I be signing up? God no.
God, no. Koho, we need you to play today.
Do you need me to play today?
I don't know. We might. Who knows?
I'll throw my name in, and if I get in, I get in.
Yes. Yeah, but I was supposed to write some arts and literature questions and some history geography questions. I literally just threw together some random arts and literature ones. I think one that we may have used already before, but I don't care.
Jez Butterworth, final answer.
Oh, you know what? I need to add a Jez Butterworth question.
Who wrote El Quijote?
Who read what?
El Quijote. The Man of La
Don
Mancha.
Quixote, Miguel Cervantes.
Yeah, there you go.
Miguel Cervantes Saavedra. Correct.
I don't know.
Ooh, that
how
actually
or
does
why.
give me
I
a-
don't know why I know that. Oh, actually, no, I do. I was watching a show and they had a game on it where it's like, we're going to show you book covers with the titles removed, and you have to like guess the title. And one guy had no idea, so he was just like Don Quixote. And then my next guess is Don Quixote also.
I have it, by the way, Cody. I have it.
You did?
Miguel
Yeah,
Cervantes.
I have it, so you can come back and do
You're
it.
fine. As long as no one's writing a composer question for arts and literature this time, like last time. Okay. All right, and we're now going to cut to the graphic of what's been yikesed. Maybe some will come up this episode. Maybe we're still waiting. So Cam's had a few choices. Nazario. Seems like Mike has had the most. How's it even possible? Half these people don't even believe in these movies. Well, it's going to be an interesting episode. We'll see if some of these come up today. So we're going to kick it off like we do every week. I'm still going to regret it. Barr, 70 through 68.
All right. So my number 70 is, and my thing just disappeared. Why the hell did it do that? My number 70, if I'm not mistaken, Koho, is Zodiac. The Point Break. Damn it.
Yikes. This episode, yikes.
It's yikes this episode?
This episode, yikes.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm excited.
Point
I'm
Break.
excited.
All right. Now I found it
The
back.
original or the remake?
The original. Ooh, the
Oh, yeah, I
91
was going to
version.
say.
Yeah. Ooh, God.
Get
No,
the
not
fuck
that.
out.
The not yikes anymore.
Who would have
all
picked
right.
the original? Oh, terrible choice. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So my number 70 was Point Break. My number 69 is The Godfather Part 2. Okay. And
Guys.
and my number
Wait a minute. Hold on. I don't
we're gonna start
care.
early, huh?
I don't care that if you didn't have it on your list at all. You didn't have The Godfather at all. Okay. Well, Godfather Part 2. Okay.
All right, we're starting real early. And my
Dude,
number
somebody just got like the biggest immunity card ever given in the history of this thing.
Yes.
You found a hidden immunity idol. I'm hoping you know how to use it. Go ahead.
And my number 68 is In the Heat of the Night.
Huh.
Freaking shocker. All right. So, The Godfather Part 2. It's The Godfather Part 2. I think that's all I need to say. My number 68.
Are you really not saying anything more about Godfather?
I will say more about it.
Okay, no, I that's totally fine. I'm just curious.
No, The Godfather Part 2 is a movie that it's one of those sequels that ties into the first one so perfectly. Like when I was first watching it, I wasn't sure, but as it went on, the more and more enraptured I got in the story and the dichotomy of the different Corleones. Robert De Niro is amazing in this movie. I think Bruno Kirby is kind of really underrated for his performance. And just the ending of this movie is fantastic. It's amazing. One of the best endings ever. In the Heat of the Night, it's a great cop movie. It's probably one of the first non-comedic buddy cop pairing kind of movies. Rod Steiger and Sidney Poitier give just performances. And that greenhouse scene with the slap is just one of the most... It is just a moment that is just sheer ecstasy, and it's so well earned. This movie is fantastic.
Heat of the Night. Okay, so man, this is always, you also did this in a terrible spot, and I don't mean that to be rude, but you put it at 69. So basically, I don't get any input from anybody else on their list why they don't have it on it. It's just a conversation between me and you. Second thing, you have it at 69, which okay,
Hey, nice.
But now there's two things that happen. One, you get a strong pass because you're the only one on this group that has The Godfather Part 2 on your list. You also have a very bad problem right now because you have this at 69, and now I'm going to weigh every movie that you have above this to Godfather Part 2.
Oh,
So
there's
that's
some that are
where-
coming up that are going to piss you off.
The only thing I will say about this movie is if we're asking me today, and who knows, because this is going to be December, it could be totally different. Godfather 1 is my favorite, okay? I watch them back to back, so I don't separate them really ever. I don't sit here and like, I'll watch Godfather Day 1 and I'll watch Godfather 2 weeks from now. No, I watch them boom boom if I'm going to watch them. So I think it's obviously a perfect film. 69, yikes, because like there's some movies that you have yikes that are higher than this one, but we'll talk. In the Heat of the Night, okay, I may be incorrect because I'm not good at trivia.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same year as The Graduate, correct?
It might be 67.
It's up for Best Picture Oscars. And The Heat of the Night won. Graduate was okay.
Yes.
I just watched The Graduate for the first time. I think Graduate is literally probably bursted into my top 20 of all time. I think that movie is absolutely perfect in every way. So In the Heat of the Night, I've seen both of these. I love In the Heat of the Night. I think it's a really good. The reason why I think it won Best Picture is because of the time it came out and what it was telling, and like that makes perfect sense. I think The Graduate's a better movie, but this movie is awesome. I enjoyed every minute of it. Great choice to start. Everybody else is starting at a strong disadvantage. To quote Blade, motherfucker's trying to ice skate uphill. Mike, let's see how it goes for you. What's yours?
Number 70, I have the kids' classic Tremors.
Yeah, no Godfather. Yes, sir.
Number 69, I have True Romance. And number 68, I have the greatest mall movie ever, Mallrats. So I already knew none of them were going to be on the list. So number 70. Hey guys, do you like Kevin Bacon screaming at you, fuck you, in the greatest fucking way possible? Yes. It's fucking amazing. It's him and Fred Ward protecting people against creatures in the fucking ground that decided to commit suicide by hitting a goddamn wall. That's how one of the creatures died. They commit suicide. They self-destruct their ass. You get so many great moments in this movie. It is so funny. And then you got Michael Gross, who took over the franchise later on with a fucking elephant gun, defeating these creatures. It's just an all-around fun fucking movie. On number 69, True Romance.
Nice.
One of my favorite Quentin Tarantino's movies, not directed by Tarantino. I love the hell out of this movie. Christian Slater is fucking incredible. Him and Patricia Arquette are great. And you have, like, I'm not going to get in detail with the scene of Christopher Walken and Dennis Hopper, but it's an incredible fucking scene. I love it. Michael Rappaport and Brad Pitt together as roommates. I want to see a fucking movie based off that because that is amazing. Michael Rappaport is hilarious in this movie. Just all around good fucking times. Gangster shit going around. It's True Romance, a great fucking movie. And you got Mallrats. Jason Lee. I love Jason Lee. Jason Lee is fucking incredible in this movie. Everything, go to him and Stan Lee together, mixed with the dating game, mixed with Michael Rooker. His ass shot of all ass shots in this movie is great. You got the stink palm, which is the greatest fucking invention ever. And then you got Ben Affleck as the fashionable male asshole who kicks the shit out of Jason Lee and tells him that he's going to screw his girlfriend in an uncomfortable place. Like a Volkswagen. Exactly. It's just fun all around. You got kids getting back on an escalator and getting hurt by the fourth fucking time he gets on the escalator. You got all kinds of fun shit. It's a great fucking Kevin Smith movie.
So this series has kind of proven that I need to get Mike Hanley on these shows more often for different topics. So that's one. Two, if you could have picked a better 3 movies to describe Mike Hanley, it would be your 70, your 69, your 68. It is literally what I would. Tremors, True Romance, where you like to go in between, and then you like to end it with Kevin Smith. It's a mixture. Tremors I've seen. Okay, it's fine. I think it's dumb, but I don't think it's bad. Honestly, of that kind of. Now, when you get into the other ones, yeah, they should have stopped. But this first one had some real magic to it, I think. True Romance, great choice. Great choice. Yeah, I don't want to go too much into this, but I think this is one that slips under the radar for most people, especially I like Tarantino, but don't watch True Romance. I think most Tarantino fans would actually really enjoy this one. And then 68, Mallrats. Huh. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Me and Kevin Smith don't mix. We just don't. It's like Everclear in college for me. It just didn't go well, and we'll leave it at that. I think he died, but yeah, Mallrats. The only reason I like Mallrats so much is because it won Tim Brzakala a geek title. That's the only reason I like Mallrats at all. So, yeah, that's fair. That's a good start to Mike's list. We're actually not off the rails. He only said suicide and do something in an uncomfortable spot. So we'll get there later. And Nazario, I think, finished it. Cam.
Yeah.
Let's go down some happy-go-lucky trails. Well, this is going to be bad.
All right. My number 70 is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. My number 69 is They Live, which was a yikes from earlier.
Yep. My yikes from here earlier.
And my number 68 is All the President's Men.
Nice.
All right. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Just to make sure, no one had Ferris Bueller's? Okay.
Yeah, no. I like John Hughes a lot when he's good. There are a lot of times when he's bad, but when he's good, he's really good. Ferris Bueller is a great character. Cameron is a great character, and I'm not just saying that because he has the same name as me, but he also has the same name as me.
Sure.
It's full of great, fun scenes. The scene at the parade is absolutely fantastic and great fun hijinks. The scene where they're taking attendance, you just have Bueller. It's iconic. It's just a really fun time. It's a great coming of age story, and it's a nice sort of just day in the life of this really cool kid, but also seeing it through the lens of like the antithesis of this cool kid. Right, I say all three at the same time. So then 69, They Live. Mike had it earlier. This movie is absolutely insane. I watched this to study for a match, and I thought it was crazy, and it's really cool. If you don't know, it's basically a guy finds a box with a bunch of pairs of sunglasses in it, puts them on, and realizes that pretty much at least half the people around him in the world are secretly alien monsters who are brainwashing the world into like consumerism and to like being the same. It's got this really weird sense of humor that I really, really enjoy. I came here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum is an iconic line. And for nothing else, the fight scene between Keith David and Rowdy Roddy Piper where the two of them are just beating the shit out of each other in an alleyway for like 7 minutes is incredible. And he's just trying to force a pair of sunglasses onto this dude's face. And he just goes, no. And they just start throwing hands at each other. It's fantastic. And there's great twists and turns. And now I will let Mike talk about it.
Mama don't like tattletales. I fucking love this movie. Rowdy Piper is fucking incredible. And as Cameron said, if you only watch 2 scenes of this movie, the bank scene and the fucking fight scene, that's all you fucking need to describe what this movie is. It is batshit nuts. The fight scene of him telling him, if you don't put these sunglasses on, you're going to eat this trash can. It's fucking amazing. And he does a suplex on him as well, which is incredible. It's a great fucking movie.
It's fantastic. And then 68, All the President's Men. I've been vocal before. American history, American geography, things about the United States. I don't like them, but I like this movie. I think I've been very vocal about not liking U.S. geography questions.
You just don't like America.
I don't. But this movie is fantastic. It's a great political intrigue movie. Great performances from Dustin Hoffman and Robert Redford. It's a great mystery that seems like so perfect and unravels so perfectly that the fact that it seems like it was written to be perfect and not that it was like an actual real thing that happened. I just find it super interesting. It progresses really, really well. And it taught me about an American history thing that I actually find interesting. So that's good.
So I realized I should have done this show differently. I should just yikes these when I think they should be talked about. That's going to be based off the entire world. Ferris Bueller, I absolutely love this movie. I think this movie is one of my favorite comedies, probably. I understand John Hughes. I think if John Hughes was still alive today, he'd have to answer for a lot of things, like because this culture is changing. Because wasn't popular. This one is one that I don't think he would get that much crap for because I don't think it crosses too many lines. I think Matthew Broderick, even though somebody on this thing thinks he's terrible, I think he's really good in this movie. I do. I think Cameron is fantastic. I think Cameron is fantastic in this movie of that setup dynamic. The secretary and the principal are two just great characters to play off each other. Like, I absolutely love that dynamic, especially as the principal's getting more and more frazzled with it, and she's just she peps it up even more. Yeah, I think I could watch this movie over and over, and especially when Cameron impersonates like the dad over the phone. Great moment. How dare you, sir? 69. I had to ask this question if "They Live" was the bubblegum line because as an old fan of wrestling, Piper was the man. I loved Roddy Piper, and I have not seen this movie, and I think I need to just because of Piper, and it's very short. I just have never caught it like in streaming or something like that right off the bat, so it's one I'm definitely going to check out. And 68, saw this movie this past week. Yeah, this past week. I'm on a Dustin Hoffman kick, which is probably my favorite classic kind of I wouldn't say classic, but older actor right now. I think he's brilliant. I think this movie is brilliant. I thought I would hate typing on a typewriter, the sound of typing on a typewriter so much, but I actually was really this movie just picks up, and it's very a slow burn, but once it gets going, it's so fascinating. It's a story that I've heard about but never looked into much. So Watergate. So hats off. If I had to rank the bottom 4, I think Cameron might be winning right now.
It's all downhill from here, Cody.
Yay! I'm so excited. We're gonna freaking 6 more episodes. Okay. Nazario. I don't have faith. Come.
Number 70. First Barr.
He said peace. He did what I couldn't. But let's see.
Number 70 is the best Batman live action movie of the 90s. It's Batman Returns.
Good for you, bud.
Hey, Koho, since Barr's not here, if he had Batman Returns, can you okay, we'll take a pause.
No one.
He's here, so just rearrange. I'll cut this part too. Okay.
No one should have Batman Returns. Okay.
What was that?
He's back.
I love how Nazario quantified it by going the best live action Batman from the 90s. As though that's not.
Well done. Good job. Okay, and 2, 1, go.
My 69 is Alice in Wonderland, Disney, the animated one. And
Sorry, what was the one before that? I blacked out.
Batman
Okay,
Returns.
fine. Nope. Nope.
and 68 is the best live action Wes Anderson film, The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
Well, I thank God that it's at 68. The best one is at 68. Thank you. Woo, glorious.
Live action.
I'm okay. The other ones can show up, but this is we don't have to talk about it a lot. Yay. Go ahead. Talk about Penguin.
Batman Returns. The first Batman is really good with the Joker, but when Tim Burton got free range after he made a lot of money with that, then he finally decided to make a Tim Burton movie. The man obviously doesn't really know Batman, but I am very sensible to the way he makes movies. I really connect with his gothic outlook. And in this one in particular, I think he had a lot of fun with the characters, with the Catwoman and especially the Penguin, because it is credited to him that he took this guy who's just like a mobster that looks a bit like a penguin and turned him into an actual freak of nature penguin, which to me was a really interesting character development. And Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, I mean, come on. Everybody who was a teenager in the 90s remembers Catwoman being Michelle Pfeiffer, right? This movie is fun. This movie doesn't get enough credit. Christopher Walken is pretty great in it too as Max Shrek. And yeah, 70 for me. 69, it's the animated version of Alice in Wonderland. This is one where I don't actually prefer at all the Tim Burton idea because I don't think it worked. It's actually my least favorite Tim Burton movie, but I really like the Alice in Wonderland story as it is itself. How this little girl gets lost and goes into this magic place where everything is upside down. One of my favorite scenes in this movie, because this movie actually takes two stories from Alice in Wonderland through the Looking Glass and Alice in Wonderland, and like makes like a best of the both. And one of my favorite segments of this movie actually belongs to the Looking Glass story, which is the Carpenter and the Walrus. And it's really interesting visually. If you imagine this movie was made in the 1950s, it's amazing achievement for what it is. Beautiful animation. And 68, The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. This movie puts Bill Murray front and center, and the man is a genius. It's whimsical as hell. It's an ode to Jacques Cousteau, which it is, and he didn't have anything to do with the movie, which they obviously say in the end is fun. And it's just his quest to find this thing that is actually at the same time his biggest accomplishment, the discovery of a new ocean creature, and his biggest regret because it ate his best friend Esteban. It's the story of a journey that starts as revenge and it closes up in peace. The scene where he finally meets the jaguar shark in the end, with the Sigur Rós soundtrack it's just beautifully filmed, beautifully done, and it's melancholy at its best. Everybody excels in this movie. It has Jeff Goldblum, which is always great, and just go watch it, man. Makes you cry a little bit.
Whew. Well, I'll tell you who's losing the bottom half of the beginning. It wasn't even hard to win this race. Okay, Batman Returns, worst Batman movie by far. I understand people say Batman and Robin. I give you that credit. Maybe you hate Forever. Fine, no problem. But that's okay, Barr. You're insane. If Batman and Robin's people say is the worst, but they stopped caring at that point. Batman Returns, they just whatever. I think this movie is gross. I think it's stupid. I don't think it goes anywhere positive. I hate the world of Batman. Like, Michelle Pfeiffer, yes. Awesome. She's great. Keaton's fine as Batman. I'm sorry, I'm not the biggest Keaton fan. The nostalgic classics need to come off a little bit when they say he's the best Batman. I just disagree. But yeah, I'm not riding the rubber duck with you. I'm sorry. I'm out on this one. I will not ride that ride with you. Next, I won't ride with you either. Alice in Wonderland. Again, I don't partake in shrooms. I need to like this movie. I'm sorry, I just do. There's a lot of drugs happening in the 60s and 50s, and it's very clear in this movie that they're tripping balls. So yeah, not a fan of Alice in Wonderland. I don't like anything about this movie. I find it boring. I find it confusing. Like, just over my turn. My kid watched it and he's like, what are we watching? He was confused. I didn't feed him shrooms, so we just didn't have fun time. Okay, and then your 68 was what? What was it? Pass. Wes Anderson. I'd watch 12,000 Kevin Smith movies before I watch one Wes Anderson movie. That dude. Well, never mind. I'll watch the Grand Budapest Hotel. That's the only one I'll actually watch. Everything else, move on. I think we're
okay, Barr. We're okay.
He is literally up his own ass. And I was working in the theater, and an old lady said, "I taught Wes Anderson in school," and I said, "You did a terrible job because he came out to make these movies. Terrible job." All right, Barr. Now everybody gets to talk. So please have another doozy like the Godfather Part Two that no one had.
I think I do, but I'm hoping that people have it on their list. It's Groundhog Day.
Oh, that's a big yikes.
Good. We're still continuing.
Wait, Mike didn't have Groundhog Day? You've been sharing the quarantine the same day for 3 months at this point. What do you mean you don't have it?
All right.
I go to Mike's Facebook page every day during quarantine just to see the meme that he shares every day.
Well, it's quarantine day again.
Every day, go right to it.
All right, here's a note. I'm sure someone has this movie on their list. My number 66 is Back to the Future.
That's a great fucking yikes right there.
Great.
66.
66. Come on.
We're gonna break Cody this episode.
I'm sorry. That was the most that's like a slow roll in poker. You're like, I hope somebody has it, and Mike and Nazario sitting over there like, you had to say back, and they were like, yikes, move along. Yeah, okay, perfect. Good. I'm glad somebody had it on their list.
My number 65 is Broadcast News.
Okay, now you get to talk.
All right, cool. Broadcast News, I think it is the best movie that James L. Brooks has ever made. I think the characters have. I know that you disagree, Cam. We'll talk about that later. I think that there's a great dynamic between the characters. I think Holly Hunter should have won the Oscar that year over Cher, because she's fantastic in this movie. And just the way that it kind of builds. It's a slow build. You're kind of getting to it, and then one of the characters does something that just kind of breaks the foundation between all three of them, and it's really well told. I think this is a great movie from the 80s that kind of gets left in the back, but it's still really good.
But where was that character moving from? Was it Albany or Boston?
I knew it was Boston.
Yeah, I've not seen this movie. I'm glad you didn't spoil. I want to watch it. I just haven't gotten around to Broadcast News. I guess I probably just need to watch more James L. Brooks, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't think I've seen.
He's got highs and he's got mez.
Oh, yeah.
Mez or oofs? All right, everybody else, you didn't have Broadcast News.
I haven't seen it.
Why are you not a 60-year-old man? What?
I haven't seen it either.
No.
Oh my gosh, I've seen it.
I wonder why.
This
why.
Is so weird.
It's almost like Barr put it on the wheel at a match that I played against him. No, I like this movie. It's my second favorite James L. Brooks movie. I don't love it. I think it's good. I get why Barr likes it. Holly Hunter is fantastic in this movie. Yeah, it's good, but as good as it gets, I prefer. So.
He only directed 6 movies?
Yeah, only 6.
So it's really high and really meh? That sounds
I Do Anything is kind of bad.
That's probably the weakest one, yeah.
Well, as good as it gets is great.
Well, I like Spanglish.
I like Spanglish.
It's not that bad. I remember that from a famous event. Okay, what's your 64?
My number 64. Let's get the Yikes machine out. It's The Social Network.
Yikes in the same episode.
Oh.
I did
Whoa.
I did this one last week, right? Yeah. Like 80.
That's 64.
Oh, it's only at 60. That really hurts me. Okay. Mike, just get rid. I don't think you had any yikes this week. Or maybe you did. I don't remember. We'll see. What's your 67?
67, I got the Kurt Russell classic, Tombstone. Yes, I knew.
Ooh.
Nobody has it. But it's a great fucking movie, all right? You got Powell's Booth shooting at the fucking moon because he's drunk off his fucking ass. You got him howling at it, too. You got Billy Bob Thornton getting slapped in the face in a very great fucking cameo. It's fucking amazing. You got Val Kilmer with some of the greatest one-liners ever throughout it. You got Michael Biehn in one of the greatest standoffs with Val Kilmer, which, spoiler alert, Val Kilmer kicks the shit out of him in 2 seconds. It's a great fucking movie. It's fantastic. If you don't like Westerns, watch this fucking movie because this takes a Western to a whole new level of action. And it's great. It's fantastic. Fortunately, Bill Paxton does not make it out of this movie, but it's still a great fucking movie.
Yeah. Tombstone is a quality movie. I just watched it. It's really weird when I just watch these movies and I didn't know it was on anybody else's list. I'm trying to remember where I watched it. No, but Tombstone was fantastic. I thought the movie, I bought it. I was like, I've heard great things about it, and the movie lived up to everything. And especially if you're not into Westerns, definitely give it a shot because this one is definitely not traditional Western, I would say.
No.
It's, yeah, so, check it out. Why no Tombstone?
I really like this movie a lot, actually. It's just one of those movies that didn't resonate with me as much as it has with other people, but it's still a really good fucking movie.
I saw this movie when I was in my teenage years. I remember I liked it very much, and I never have watched it again. So I probably should.
Westerns ain't my genre. I've seen it, but it's hard for me to like Westerns.
Because you don't like
That's
America.
fair.
Yeah, because they're too American.
That's probably true. Okay, what's your next one?
Okay, 66. Let's just get this out of the way. Shawshank Redemption.
I'm pretty sure I have that. Wait.
Yeah, I assume that at least one of you.
I freaking hope so.
Come on, Lazar, don't let me down.
That's a confirmed yikes.
Okay. Now 65. The movie everyone's been waiting for. You want to go to hell? It's Event Horizon.
You go to hell just by watching it.
You got Sam Neill with no eyeballs that just came back from hell, ready to whoop some ass. I love the shit out of this movie. This movie is fucking bananas. It is batshit fucking nuts. I wish they had more hell sequences in it because it is so fucking insanity. This movie is batshit fucking nuts. Event Horizon goes into a black hole, which you find out was led to hell, and then is back. Yeah, I'm not going to give any spoilers on this movie. Lawrence Fishburne is incredible. Fuck. Watch this movie immediately because it is batshit insane. It's a great fucking movie.
Here's the question that we're getting to. This, we're not all the way. We're not even halfway yet. But is the movie's batshit crazy or is Mike batshit crazy?
Yes.
I'm leaning a little towards both. But yeah, I was going to watch this movie actually. I always sometimes watch a trailer before I watch the movie just to see like what I'm getting into. Yeah, I think I left the trailer early on this one. I think I saw a minute of the trailer. I said, you know what? Some movies are just not for me. Everybody else had a pretty much. There was 2 face palms that happened. So tell me what you guys think about Event Horizon. How close was this to making your top 10 list?
I want to tell you that I watched Hellraiser go to space in '96, and Event Horizon did it better in '97. But I have nowhere near my top 100 though. Great movie anyway. Go watch it.
No.
I've never
No.
seen it, but Mike and Nazario are the only two people I have ever heard talk positively about this movie.
Yep.
And Nazario doesn't get to really talk about it because he didn't have it. But okay, Hellraiser, this one did it better than Hellraiser. Which, what a bar. What a bar.
Fucking positive review, goddamn.
Yeah, what's your next one, Mike?
64, I got The Cabin in the Woods. I knew it. No one has it again. But you know what? It's a great fucking movie. It takes a movie with all the cliche elements and it goes, hey, you like those cliches? We're going to do some of them, but then we're going to turn it around and we're going to bend you over with it. It's a great fucking movie. It has so many great moments in this movie. Barr is gone. Chris Hemsworth in an amazing role where he clotheslines the shit out of a zombie. It's such a funny fucking moment. I'm not going to give away anything that happens in the second half. Just if you like movies that happen in a cabin and then you like batshit nonsense later on, watch this fucking movie because it is amazing. It is a group of teenagers, college students, if you will, in a cabin, but it goes above and beyond anything you can fucking imagine halfway through the movie. And then you got the biggest bong known to man that turns out to be a coffee cup. It's a great fucking movie.
So this is one that I need to watch that I haven't got to see. I think my wife's burning down the house. Yeah, this is one that I need to see, but I haven't seen yet. I guess it's because I don't like horror, but I think this one may be one of those because when you talk to most people, this is like, if you talk about 2012, 2011, I don't remember the year that it actually, I know there was a discrepancy, but this is the one that people talk about. They talk in high regard. But no one else had it, so I'm curious why no Cabin in the Woods. More by Nazario, because I figured if anybody would have it, probably Nazario.
I really like this movie. Joss Whedon and Drew Goddard do a great thing. If you like horror movies, this one actually like deconstruct the classic genre a lot. And the more you know about the references they make, the more enjoyment you get out of it. I do not like the original structure of the movie. They give up the game way too early. I think if they had held longer the idea of a straight up horror movie with this movie, it would have worked better for me. I really enjoy it, but I don't think it's as great as it needs to be a great film.
Other two.
I've seen this. I like it. There's a lot of great comedy moments. Like, yeah, you pick zombies, but this is zombie redneck torturer family. It's like the difference between an elephant and an elephant seal, which I think is a great joke. It's fun. It's like meta horror, which I like more than regular horror, but still
needs more merman.
This is a movie.
Fucking merman.
This is. I really enjoy this movie. I don't love this movie, but I really enjoy it. It's definitely a great group watch. It kind of is this generation's Scream, in the sense that it kind of takes the horror genre and breaks it down. And I really admire the way that it does that. I just kind of like Scream better.
As do I, as we've seen.
Fair. All right, Mike. We didn't go too crazy. We did get threatened to get bent over at some point. But
yeah,
Cam,
I feel I'm in so much pain after that.
I feel attacked. Cam.
I hope Nazario is going to like this next one. It's a scary children's movie that's very Tim Burton-y, but it's not by Tim Burton. My number 67 is Coraline.
I'm pretty sure that's a yikes. Okay, a second here. Yeah,
I actually should just install Koho to have a banner at the bottom. Yes, it is higher on your list, so you can just put it up when people don't know.
So that's a yikes.
All right, what's your next one?
Hell yeah. I was not necessarily expecting that.
He's talked positively about that movie before, so I figured it would be somewhere.
My number 66. I'm sorry, Cody. It's my favorite Batman movie. It's the Lego Batman movie. Yeah. I know. Look, I knew this was coming. I know Cody hates this movie. I just got to go for it. I really like this movie. I think as someone who like knows Batman comics and knows the history of it, it is fully aware of the fact that Batman, for most of its history, was kind of dumb at points. Like, it had really ridiculous villains. It was crazy. And they get that, but then they also still like have this love for it. And I think it's really fun. I think the relationship between Joker and Batman is really fun. Robin is fantastic. There's great jokes. All the villains from like a bunch of different franchises showing up at the end is really fun. Harvard for Police is one of like my favorite jokes in that movie because it's just great. I love this movie. It's fantastic. Lego Batman. Cody, tear me a new one. Let's go, buddy.
So, I don't like Legos. Sorry, I just don't. I have children. I step on them, and they piss me off. I was not going to see this movie, obviously, because I think the first Lego movie is an abomination. But then somebody said, Cody, you love Batman. You have to see this movie. Arguably one of the best Batman movies that have ever been made. And I said, but they're Lego. He goes, just watch it. Watch it and find out. 40 minutes in, I turn over and be like, I could be at home right now watching the best Batman movie ever. Not this. This movie just is what I don't like about Lego movies. They throw everything in, and I understand it's not made for me. That's fine. I just wish everybody would have shut their mouths and stopped typing it, because they make this like, they throw all this stuff at you, all these villains and all this stuff, and makes it this big old plot. If it was just the Joker or even just the Rogues Gallery, they have a shot to do an entire Rogues Gallery. They throw Lord Voldemort at you and every fucking person in this movie, and I can't stand it. I honestly just, like, the jokes at first work, and then they get me drag on, and they drag on, and they drag on, and I'm just like, this movie felt like 3 hours. It felt so long. It just didn't run out. So, not a chance in hell would this ever make a top 100. And the reason it made this high above all the President's Men, you should be ashamed of yourself. And you
Favorite,
not
Godfather
Part Two, the Lego Batman. Everybody on Lego Batman, go ahead.
I said it on a previous episode, my opinion on this, and the episode was most overrated films of the 2010s. I don't think this movie is that good. It's got a few chuckles here and there. I do like the animation style, but like it's trying to do too much, and this ain't Avengers Endgame, yo.
I actually have said similar things on it. This movie was supposed to be perfect for me. I'm a Batman guy. I'm a Lego guy. And I had really high hope for it. I do think it's a good movie, as different from these people. It is a good movie. It is funny. I actually do own the movie, and I have watched it several times. However, they do throw way too much at the screen to like see what sticks. And it really bothered me originally that I expected the movie to have like a big development into the Batman lore, which they kind of did with the Rogues Gallery, but then they just switched that all away for the several villains from several movie things that Cameron is referring, and I hate that. I honestly, that's what loses me. The only thing I like from those villains is the joke that everybody can tell that Batman is Bruce Wayne, but nobody wants to tell you. So they just like, that's the Joker house, whatever. I wish I would love this movie, but I don't, and that's why I don't have it on my list.
I haven't seen it.
Hey, Mike, I'll save you. Don't. Next one, Cam.
Yeah. My number 65 is An American in Paris. Yep, cool. I love musicals. That's not a secret. I love dance. I love dance movies. May not be public knowledge. I don't remember if I've ever said it. I was a dancer for like 5 years competitively. And then I gave that up and I became the chonky boy I am today. But that's irrelevant. But I love this movie. I saw it for the first time back when I was still doing dance, and then I rewatched it earlier this year. And I fell back in love with this movie again. I think it's got such a great style. It's got a lot of fun. The music in it is fantastic. And the closing scene is like a 15-minute long just ballet number. And that sounds like it might not be interesting, but it's so well done. It's incredibly well directed, incredibly well choreographed. The costumes and set design in that scene are beautiful. I absolutely love it. Even if you don't see this movie, do yourself a favor and watch that scene. I think it's incredible. I love this movie. I Got Rhythm is a really, really fun song. And also just the plot where he's dating this woman and then he's like at lunch with his friend, and then they're like his friend's other friend comes and he's like, hey, I just got engaged. And it's like, oh, who did you get engaged to? And he says the name, and the name of the woman he got engaged to is the woman that the main character is dating. And just the friend of both of them just gets this little grin on his face because he realizes that the two of them are dating the same woman. And it's just such a fun, funny scene. I love it.
So I really need to start looking at you guys' list between weeks, because then I can, when I watch something, I can be like, oh, I'm watching this for a reason. I thought this movie was meh. Not that it was bad. It just wasn't like everything that I like. Like, I'm a big fan of musicals. The one thing I will say, like the brightness of this movie, the color, like the amazing, like it's crazy that this movie was released in the 50s, of how vibrant this movie is. I think it's great. I also like the characters. I like the songs are okay. But when a musical, I want like the songs to be enough to like draw me in. That's the kind of musical guy I am. I want the songs to drive the focus. This was fine. It won Best Picture, so that's one of the reasons I watched it. But yeah, not a bad movie by any means. It's just it's better than your last choice, so well done on improvement. What does everybody else think?
Somebody tried to make me watch this movie for a match in Full Metal, but I didn't.
I wonder who that was.
Mike, you go.
I haven't watched this since high school, so I do not remember anything about it.
I really like this movie a lot. It would probably be in my 125.
This is number 11, guys.
But I think I talked about how La La Land cribbed a lot from The Umbrellas of Cherbourg when I talked about it. It cribs a lot from this movie too, especially the like 14-minute ballet scene at the end, which is amazing. By the way, watch that. I really like this movie a lot.
Fair. What's your 64?
64 is Whiplash. That is not what I said. I said my 64 is Whiplash, Koho.
No one else had Whiplash?
Nobody? Wow. All right.
Wait, no one has Whiplash at all? That's impressive. No, hats off to you guys. That's actually impressive for a group in this community. So, okay, go ahead and talk about it.
You know, I really...
Uh-oh.
Koho is hacked into a system.
Barr, fuck you for your La La Land slander, you piece of shit.
Is it not slander if it's true?
Fuck you. I don't care. I do not stand for La La Land slander in this house.
No wonder you did so well in the debate leagues. That was a great retort.
Exactly.
You know what? My wife
I crush
made me
people
watch this
because
like
I
a week ago.
would just say fuck you. I'm right.
My wife made me watch this movie again a week ago, and I liked it better than the original time I watched it. I still don't love it though. I don't know why, but it doesn't.
This is a movie that I respect more than I necessarily like. I think that there are some great performances. I think J.K. Simmons deserved that Oscar. I think it's got some great lines. The two, what is it? The two most dangerous words in the English language are "good job." It's something like that. But that's great. But yeah, I respect it more than I necessarily like it.
You started talking about Whiplash.
Yes.
Why are you talking about Whiplash right now? Wait till you come back.
Oh, I thought Nazario was talking about Whiplash.
You all make me sad. Right now, Cam is my favorite list.
You saw this movie a year ago. Calm down.
I've seen it 3 times since.
Who cares? I've seen The Wizard of Oz 20 times. Still wouldn't make my fucking list.
But Whiplash.
Don't worry, Wizard of Oz is going to make his list, so there we go.
64 is Whiplash.
Still no yikes.
Figured maybe if I left and came back, someone might have it on their list. No, I think this movie's great. As I was trying to say before the internet attempted to kill me, I'm not a huge fan of some of Damien Chazelle's other work, but I love this movie. I think it's very well directed. I think the fact that you can take a movie that's about basically just a guy playing the drums and make it this interesting and this like visually impressive is fantastic. Obviously, the highlight of this movie is J.K. Simmons' performance. He's brilliant in this movie. He's one of the best movie villains of the 21st century because he's just like he's so pure in his motivations of what he's doing, where he's trying to make this kid the best he can possibly be. But to do that, he's putting him through just like this living hell and then throwing chairs at the kid's head. It's fantastic. The music and the score in it is brilliant. I think this movie's absolutely fantastic. Whiplash.
Okay.
like, did I freeze again? I swear.
Whiplash. So Whiplash is slowly becoming this movie that is built on this giant pedestal in this community. It's massive. If you don't like it, how dare you? I like the movie a lot. I like the scene a lot better than I think I like the overall movie. I think we all know what we're talking about. Like the scene will probably, if you go back in the next 100 years of film, like that scene could easily been one of the scenes that is shown. I think it's acting wise, shock value. I think what it did mostly is shock everybody. Like, wow, like everybody claims that J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons was playing this role in Oz on HBO before he took this role. I will stand by that. Yeah. And anybody else that says that this is like a breakout performance, no, you need to go watch him play a neo-Nazi in Oz because that man's way more terrifying in that show than he is in this one. But overall, the movie is great. I'm not a musician, so it doesn't rank as high for me as some people because I've never played an instrument. I couldn't tell you if he's dragging or rushing. I don't have any clue. I just think the overall movie and the back and forth between these two is an intense battle. The only reason why I said congratulations to you guys for not having it, not because I don't think it deserves the list. It's just refreshing to find 3 people that wouldn't consider it a top 100 film. Because if I polled the rest of the community, some people will probably have it on there. So why didn't Whiplash miss your guys' list?
This is a movie that I respect more than I necessarily like. I think J.K. Simmons gives a great performance. Yes, he did this in Oz, but he still does a really good job with it. The rushing, dragging scene is, I agree, one of the best scenes recently. So you do know the difference. But yeah, it's a movie that I respect more than I necessarily love.
I just had a strange deja vu with Barr. Anyway, hashtag Shilling Up for Life. J.K. Simmons rules in this movie. This movie is really, really good. I just cannot deal with Miles Teller. And this is the movie where he's the least hateful of all the ones that I have seen after I figure out who the hell Miles Teller was. But I don't like him. The movie's good, though.
I agree with Cody and Nazario when he did a better performance in Oz, but I like to assume that he got out of prison and decided to become a music teacher. That's what makes this a great fucking movie. Because that would be incredible if he just changed his name because he didn't want that nonsense and went, I'll be this guy. It's a great fucking movie. The performances are great. I'm not a drummer. Can't play a musical instrument, but I think he does great fucking drumming from what I can see. It is a great fucking movie.
If you haven't seen Oz, Miles Teller got off light. I'm just saying.
Also, yeah, my brother was a drummer, and I empathize with the character because I too wanted to throw a chair at my brother's head repeatedly.
At least he didn't get nailed anywhere. Okay, Nazario, what's your 67?
My 67 is Steven Spielberg Saving Private Ryan.
Yikes.
I expected that, which makes me sad because I have a nice story about my dad renting the porn version by accident. So,
Saving Ryan's Privates.
Oh, Saving Ryan's Privates?
Yeah! Okay. 66. 66 is Pedro Almodóvar's Volver. Okay. If you guys have not seen Pedro Almodóvar's films, and he has a lot of films, the man is brilliant. I know it's in Spanish and you have to read subtitles, but I'm telling you, it's worth it. And I wanted to pick one of his movies to represent his overall work, so I just chose Volver because I think it shows one of his best qualities. This man loves women, and I'm not saying he loves them in the way like he likes them, they're hot and sexy. He loves them as mothers, as sisters, as daughters, and he knows how horrible men are to them, especially in the Latin community. This story is basically the story of Penelope Cruz and her sister, whose mother died under mysterious circumstances 6 years earlier, dealing with life after it, and how they have to come back to a small town with a lot of superstition to deal with people who actually believe that ghosts come back and join their families when they need them. These people buy their plots of cemetery graves and they clean them like it's their damn houses. It's a very cultural thing from Spain, but it comes up a lot here in Panama too because we come from Spanish culture. And if I have to recommend you one movie, I personally would go with Volver, but you should watch The Skin I Live In too because it's awesome.
Yeah, I have not seen this. Honestly, this is probably the first time I've ever heard of this film. I'll have to definitely look into it.
I think it's on Hulu. I think.
Okay, fair. But if you guys haven't noticed, I don't care about you guys, so the chances of me watching it for you is very unlikely. Anybody else have this movie on their list, or anybody else seen it?
This is a movie that, added to the list, I've been wanting to see.
I haven't seen it.
I know who the guy is because he did that Pain and Glory, and I had heard of The Skin I Live In, and he also directed Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown, which was adapted into a musical. But I ain't seen this movie. Women on the Verge of a Breakdown is a great musical, though.
What is your 65, Nazario?
My 65 is Frank Miller's Sin City. Okay, this is probably Robert Rodriguez, one of his best films, because he actually had a really great guide for it. He decided to lift basically the images from the panels of the comics that Frank Miller already did for some of his best Sin City stories, with the Yellow Bastard and with Clive Owen in the Hookers one and the Marv one. This is just kind of a hodgepodge of stories mixed. It's like a little bit more like an anthology film than a straight up film. Actually, when you buy the Blu-ray, you can get the version that has the 3 stories with extra scenes as separate entities that each last around 60 to 65 minutes. But I really do like how it feels, the mixed version, especially the director's cut of the story, how he integrates how people cross each other's lives without really noticing, but doing as something that affects them. It's similar to Amores Perros that I mentioned before. And I gotta say, everybody shines in this. Mickey Rourke is great. He hadn't been great in a while, and Bruce Willis is really great in this.
Sin City. I'm not actually a fan of Sin City. It's not that I think it's a bad movie. It's just not my type of movie, I think is the best way I can describe this movie. I don't like either one. I think this one's considered the best one. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think this is considered the better one. Still, just not a fan of. I think it's shot really cool, but again, I don't care what it's shot like. I like the story. So, what does everyone else think about Sin City?
I haven't seen it, but I bet it's not as good as the other Frank Miller movie, The Spirit.
I haven't seen it, but saying it's the best Robert Rodriguez movie is blasphemous because The Adventures of Sharkboy and Lava Girl in 3D exists.
Oh my god! Shut up!
The first time I saw this, it didn't really connect like I wanted it to. I still need to rewatch it though, because I have not seen it in years. But I am definitely wanting to give this a rewatch.
Sorry, guys. Pause real quick. There's a challenge that's in Warzone right now, so I'm being the third person.
I'm listening to it also.
It's wrong. It's Domhnall Gleeson versus Donald Gleeson. It's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
there's
Donald.
no second D. It's Dom Hall, not Dom. Not
Somebody said
Yeah.
Donald Gleeson, and it's
That's
Donald Gleeson.
It
Yeah,
does.
Donald, any of those are fine. Adding the extra D at the end is wrong.
It's a completely
Donald
different
is
name.
objectively correct.
It's not a
Very
phonetic thing. It's a completely
It's
different
not.
name.
It's how it's spelled. It's two different names.
Yeah.
Would you take Dumb Hall Duck? No, you wouldn't.
That's how the challenge needs to be
Donald
worded
Duck.
exactly.
Who's trying to challenge that?
Sean Wasserkrug.
Oh,
course.
fuck, Sean, no.
Oh, right. Thomas.
Oh yeah, it is Thomas's match today. Oh,
That was his 2-pointer. He said, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, I think. And he said, Donald Gleeson. Spence said, correct. And then Boatman said, can you say that again? He said, Donald Gleeson, just like he said the first time. And it's Dummel. So that was incorrect.
Great. I can't wait for the pissy.
I can't wait to pronounce his name right later on this series.
I can't wait. I can't wait to hear how terrible of line judges we are.
All right, that's fine.
All right.
Hold on.
I'll pronounce his name correctly when we reach a movie with him in it later.
Okay.
I just don't know why this is even a conversation.
I will say Dumb Hall Duck when Donald appears in a movie later.
Okay, whatever.
Oh my God, Henry Sanchez is watching Batman Returns. I'm sad.
Okay, they're going to award him the points, actually. So, whatever.
What?
Out of here.
That's
Whoa,
stupid.
what?
Yeah, Boatman said that's how he pronounces it. He pronounced it on a video of how you say it, and it's how Sean pronounced it. So,
Yikes.
With a D at the end?
I have no clue.
Oh man.
If he wins off that, that's yikes.
Yeah, that's gonna get a lot of shit if he wins.
Yeah.
I am literally looking at the IPA phonetic guide of how to pronounce this man's name.
Donald.
Just put the thing in Google Translator and make it pronounce it.
It's the glottal at the end, which makes it weird because it's Donald Gleeson.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the glottal because he's Irish.
Yeah, exactly.
Donald, please.
Donald.
Okay, we're back. Who didn't? So now 64.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry.
My 64 is Martin Scorsese's The Aviator. No one. Interesting. I think Martin Scorsese found a second muse after Robert De Niro with Leonardo DiCaprio. And of the bunch of movies that they made together in the early 2000s, this is my favorite by far. Howard Hughes is such an intriguing real life person about how he could be such a brilliant man and be limited and paralyzed by his sickness that he owned. As a person that actually got spent like over 30 days without being able to leave his house because of a chronic disease, I identify a lot with it. It's really hard to think that you cannot leave your house and be safe. And moving past that is one of the hardest things I have to do. I have had to do in my life. So I really understand the character that was happening here with Howard Hughes. He was a filmmaker. He was an avid film watcher. He made an awesome movie. He spent all his money to do it, which is great. And he loved airplanes so much that he made it his life passion. And if it wasn't because of Howard Hughes, we wouldn't have a lot of the advancement in aviation that we did. The movie catches the whole life story of the guy, and he never feels out of place. Not when he's playing the younger version, not when he's playing the older version. He always feels like the character. I think Scorsese did a great job on the scope of the movie, and Leonardo DiCaprio did a great acting job representing the man.
I'm really impressed that this is 64. I like the movie a lot. I would think lower range, obviously, but it's one that I've said on a previous top 100 that I like I like the idea of the. I never thought I would like the concept of this movie, but I find it very intriguing. I enjoy the overall and the entire movie. I think it's really good. I think it's one of Scorsese's underrated ones that people don't think of when they think of him. But I honestly, and Leo, I think this is kind of like Leo's in my, like Catch Me If You Can, that range is where he breaks out of the thing that I find annoying of Leo to like the actor he is today. So hats off to Aviator being on your list. Why did everybody else miss Aviator?
Add it to the list.
I haven't seen it.
I really like this movie. It's a good fucking movie. I just wish it was a little bit shorter. And I think, like, rewatching it wise, because we watched it, I think, like 2 years ago, maybe. And it was just the length that got to me. Other than that, I enjoy this movie.
All right. We are now down to the top half of this episode that is taking long because of breaks. Barr. Did Barr break? Okay, you were holding a pose perfectly. What's your 63?
My 63 is, it's, I love my classics. It is the Maltese Falcon. Yeah, I thought so. All right. So the Maltese Falcon is one of my favorite mystery movies. It is Humphrey Bogart in one of his best performances. The mystery is really intriguing. I especially like the mystery surrounding the character of the Fat Man. I think that's a really good way of like introducing a character through this mystery around him. The cinematography is great. I love the some of the dialogue is fantastic, especially the part of the end where, what is that? It's the stuff that dreams are made of. I think this movie has aged incredibly well. So the Maltese Falcon.
This is one of those classics I've never seen. I've never seen it. I just haven't got to it. Some people say it's a little overrated. Like it carries a lot of hype with it, but it's actually not that great. Again, can't say that, but that's why it's probably deterred me for this long. Everybody else on the Maltese Falcon?
I got HBO Max a week ago, and I am literally 17 minutes in of this movie. I will finish it.
I haven't seen it.
And it's a movie I saw a long time ago, and I honestly just don't remember it, so I need to rewatch it. I don't remember anything.
I knew this was going to happen. This was the movie I knew this was going to happen.
Okay.
I'll DM you after finish.
All right. Cameron's okay. I just saw him blink. He is still with us. Okay, Mike,
Yeah, I'm
what's
here.
your
I'm alive.
63?
Okay, my 63. It makes Speed look like a ride to Grandma's house. A yikes from earlier. This episode, it's Point Break.
Yeah!
I love the shit out of this movie. Kanunu and Patrick Swayze together, fucking awesome, okay? They are fucking amazing together. Utah, get me too. Gary Busey is fucking funny as shit in this movie. I love the whole concept of having Kanunu go into cover with surfers trying to catch bank robbers because they could or could not be surfers. I love Bodhi's group. Bodhi's group is amazing. They are so funny together. I love Bodhi's mentality. His view on life is incredible. Keanu Reeves, he has so many great moments in this, especially with Patrick Swayze and Lori Petty. Both of them together on screen are great. I especially love the ending. The way it goes out. I'm not going to paddle to New Zealand. It's so fucking awesome. I love this movie.
This movie's fantastic. It's got some of the best action. I love the chase from the bank, which leads into the foot chase, which I genuinely think is the greatest chase ever put to screen. I think Patrick, he gives a really great performance as Bodhi. Like he's so good, but he's so charming, which kind of makes him even kind of more scary and intimidating. This is probably one of Keanu's best performances. I am an FBI agent. It's so amazing. I love this movie. It is one of my favorite action movies of all time. It's fantastic.
Point Break. By the way, I want to just tell you to Mike that don't you ever refer Speed and this. Speed is perfection compared to Point Break. Don't you ever talk crap on Speed. But this movie is, if you ask me what made the 90s great in film, this is like a perfect example of it. This is like turn off your brain fun that nowadays would turn your brain off fun. It's almost exhausting. Like it's rough. Like they're bad movies. This one has charm to it at least. This one has like stupid cheesy lines that make you fall in love with the characters. Like the I am an FBI agent. Those parts like when they said they were remaking Point Break, I said go for it. I literally said go for it because at the end of the day,
I blame you then.
No, but they could have at least updated it and still had fun with it. Instead, they just drove it into the back of a fucking train. Like it was just rough. They didn't even capture any of the charm with it. This one misses on all levels. The remake. This one is brilliant. This one is great. The other one, not so much. I still put Speed way higher. But I mean, A63, I have a problem with it being like higher than some films. But it's Mike's list, so what am I supposed to expect? The other two, why no Point Break?
Hey, why don't you like fun?
Yeah, what happened, guys?
I like Point Break, but if this was a top 121, come on, man. I like it, but I don't love it to the point that I would put it in this list. I have to say though, Karen Bigelow is pretty great, and I actually really like seeing Gary Busey not being insane. So that's fun.
He still kind of is.
Saw it once. I liked it. I didn't love it. I'm sorry.
All right, Cam. Well, tell us what you do love.
I'll tell you what I love. It's a yikes from about 20 minutes ago. My 63 is The Social Network. I can't tell if Cody's more hurt that like me and Barr only have it at 63 and 64, or that Mike and Hazario don't have it at all.
No, Mike had it.
Mike had it.
I didn't have it.
I'm sorry,
Mike didn't have it. Hazario had it. Okay, cool. So he's the lamb to the slaughter today. All right. No, this movie is fantastic. Jesse Eisenberg is great. Should have won Best Picture over The King's Speech, which I saw for the first time a couple hours ago. Andrew Garfield is brilliant in this movie. It's a fantastic screenplay. It's so well directed. Armie Hammer is both of the Winklevoss twins. Justin Timberlake is great as Sean Parker. There's so many great quotes. I think one of my favorites is we don't need to hire the Sopranos to bash his brains in. I'm 6'5", 220, and there's two of me. Like, it's so good. The scene where Eduardo and Zuckerberg are having this conversation, and he's like, "Lawyer up, asshole," because when I come back, I'm not coming back for 30%. I'm coming for everything. Is incredible. It's really great. There's great moments of fun, and there's great moments of like hard drama. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, this is some of the best dialogue put to screen, honestly. I also think that Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross's score really highlights and enhances the kind of intensity that's going on in it, especially within the character of Mark Zuckerberg. And I think it was Rashida Jones's character who said that, like, he's trying to be an asshole. And it's so true. When she says that, everything really snaps into place about him, especially when at the end of the movie he's just clicking the refresh button to see if Rooney Mara's character has accepted his Facebook request. And you just kind of see how kind of pathetic that this character really is after everything that he's accomplished. Andrew Garfield is the best part of this movie. Especially at the Phoenix Club when he's got the hat and he's got the and he's got the shirt and he's doing this move as he walks back up to Zuckerberg. Yeah, I think this movie is absolutely brilliant.
David Fincher is one of the few directors that I have multiple times on my list, and I really, really like The Social Network. I think it should have won Best Picture that year. That was most definitely. A King's Speech is boring. But when I line up and make a list of my Fincher movies, there are several movies that I like better than this. So when I was putting the spots in my top 100 and I found a spot for others, this couldn't be higher than what I already got it. It's my second one in the list, though. I also have Alien 3, so that's great.
Oh my
you also
God.
spoiled that you have Zodiac somewhere.
The way that we're talking about this, it's 60s and not higher, is just sad to me. I think this movie is perfect. Again, story mode, like a story behind Facebook, I could really give two shits about. But the way they tell the story, and it has Eisenberg, which I absolutely think is one of the most of the time atrocious. I can't stand him. But in this movie, it just works. Hey, I think this movie actually ruined his career. If I'm being honest, now he plays this he plays this character every time he gets a chance, like spazzy, like entitled kid. Like even the Now You See Me movies, he plays Heisenberg, Zuckerberg. No, I love this movie. I think it's great. He already quoted it. I think the best character in this movie is Andrew Garfield by a mile. I think everybody's great in it, but he takes it to a whole nother level. That smashing the computer scene is still one of my favorite scenes in any movie ever. Hey, asshole. Yeah, it's great. And then I'm Zuckerberg most of the time in the meetings. Like the depositions, like when he's giving the stuff to the FBI, like you have the minimal amount. Like I don't care about people mostly. Like that's who I am. That's why co-host put in the slides for the show. Yeah, I'm very minimal. I don't care. Like, so yeah, great choice. I can't argue with it. 63, 64, and where did Nazario have it?
80.
God bless America. Fine, cool. But not the choice. Mike, what the fuck?
Look,
I know Zuckerberg's heart doesn't shoot out of his chest, but why not this movie?
I love this movie. It's a great fucking movie. Justin Timberlake, which I don't think anybody mentioned, is great in this movie as well.
His best performance.
And look,
That's
it's
not
just
hard,
top
Barr.
100 to me. It's just not a top 100 movie for me, but I do love the shit out of this movie. It's a great fucking movie.
I do also want to point out how great Brenda Song is in this. I actually think that she's kind of terrifying in this movie.
Okay. Nazario, what's your 63?
My 63
Return to Oz 2?
No. But it is my first Tim Burton movie in this list. And it's the adaptation of Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber. I really like this. I have never had the pleasure to watch the Sweeney Todd musical performed because I live in Central America and it's one of the few that hasn't come here. I did get to see Rocky Horror and those Shop of Horrors in theaters. I would have loved to see this one first, but it came from one of my favorite directors. And I actually think that Johnny Depp rise to the level of he was required for this role. I think he plays a pretty interesting version of Sweeney Todd. And Helena Bonham Carter is also really great in it. I love the music, I love the story, I love the ambience that he makes. And honestly, I think it's one of his underrated films because it comes in the latter part of his career. Most of his great stuff, it is in the 90s, the 80s. I give you that. But this one, and another one that he did later, I still think are top tier level work. And Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, is one of my favorite musical adaptations in film ever.
I like this musical a lot. I don't think I like this telling of the musical that much. There's part I like. So there's this live version. It's like a concert setting that's that's on YouTube with Emma Thompson. I think that's the best version, like besides like the actual show of it, that I've seen of this production. I just don't like Depp, honestly. I don't like Burton with Depp with Helen Bonham Carter. I don't like that pairing at all. I think Mrs. Lovett would have been way better by anybody else, really. I just don't like her. But the overall movie is not terrible. It's kind of an interesting musical because, it's pretty much a horror movie of a musical. So no wonder Nazario really likes it. Plus Tim Burton had a hand in it. So that's like double. Not my favorite. I wouldn't make my list, but I don't hate the choice. I hate it over the Social Network. But Barr and Cam, you're big musical guys. Why didn't this make your list?
Hey, Barr, do you want to talk about A Little Priest, or should I talk about it?
Oh my God, thank you. Okay, so let me talk about this. Okay, so it's one of my favorite musicals of all time, but movie musical, no. Because if you watch the George Hearn, Angela Lansbury live recording of this show, and then you compare A Little Priest from that to A Little Priest from this, it is night and day the problems that The Little Priest does in the movie, because they are the stiffest pieces of fucking cardboard in that scene when they're supposed to be having a fun and joking around with each other, but they're so goddamn serious because we have to be brooding throughout the entire time because we can't have fun in a musical about murder. Like, they do not do these characters justice. They missed the fucking point.
Yeah, no. The reason I said that is because Barr and I have talked about this exact thing before, about how that scene in particular, because I also love the stage musical. It's very particularly, Barr mentioned, I love that particular version as well. And that, like, it's not just that one scene, but that one scene, not what it should be.
It's the magnifying glass to what's wrong with the movie overall.
Yeah, but, like, I think there's great moments. I like Johnny Depp's performance in this movie. His singing leaves some to be desired. Alan Rickman, interesting choice to cast as a character who sings songs. But no, it's a very interesting show. The music, like the songs are well written because it's Sondheim. Yeah, I don't love it, but it's good.
I like the music. I like the performance in this. It's a pretty good fucking movie. It just, I can't get into musicals that well to where I'm going to love it, but I still enjoy what it is.
Oh, Mike, you're going to have a fun time with me and Barr on this show.
62, Barr.
All right, my number 62 is one of my favorite movies of the 2010s. Yes, I have a contemporary movie on my list. It is Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Hi, Boatman.
I actually really love this movie. I think that this is a movie by one of my favorite writers, Martin McDonagh. I think he has such an ear for dialogue that, like, he's up there, like, with like the great dialogue writers, in my opinion. But I also think that the characters are deep and complex. I think that the emotional arc of Frances McDormand's character and Sam Rockwell's character are fantastic. And it's got some really heartbreaking moments. And the cinematography is fantastic. The scene where the billboards are actually on fire is amazing, and Carter Burwell's score really enhances it fantastically. I know a lot of people have problems with Frances McDormand's character. They think that she's too much of a bitch. And yeah, she's a bitch. But I find her actually a lot more relatable than other people do. I think this movie is fan-friggin-tastic.
It feels like I'm talking about this movie in like circles now, because I've talked about this movie more times than I did during Oscar season. I live in Missouri. This hits very close to home. I've met a Frances McDormand in gas stations before. I'm going to be honest with you, where you'd rather just not talk to her, and if you did talk to her, you may not come out alive. I think the acting performance is really good. I think this depicts like Missouri and like the problems in situations. I really like this movie. It's not one that I would ever really go back to. Like there's Oscar movies that happen that just fade off. So that's my take on it. Everybody real quick on Three Billboards.
I liked it the first time I watched it. I didn't like the ending. I think it kind of cop out on the relationship that was developing from the film, and I have rewatched it after it, and every time I rewatched it, it goes lower on my list. I get it. I get what they were going for. The Three Billboard thing is really impactful, and I probably would be that pissed if what happened to her happened to me, but that doesn't hold up.
Yeah, it's a great fucking movie. I love this movie. Sam Rockwell is a fucking national treasure. Anytime I see that dude on screen, I love him even more. The comedy in this is amazing. Martin McDonagh, I love all of his movies. I hope he keeps making more and more because he's amazing every time he hits it. It's a great fucking movie.
No, I like it. I think it's great. Rockwell is fantastic in it. McDormand is fantastic in it. Dude gets thrown out a window.
That's the end of the movie.
I don't know if I agree with you that she deserved the Oscar, but
she deserved the Oscar.
She did deserve the Oscar.
Thank you.
Okay. Mike, 62.
Okay, here we go, guys. I got Fanboys.
Yikes.
Oh, holy shit. Okay, I like that. Yeah.
Is that real?
I can't believe that happened. That's fucking amazing. Yeah.
Oh, is that real?
Oh my god. It's fucking incredible. Okay. I did not expect that at all.
I didn't either. All right.
Shit.
All right.
Oh man. Holy
Cam,
shit.
what's your 62?
Just save my ass right there, man. Yeah.
I need to recover. My 62 is
how the hell do you guys have cross? What the fuck? Are you serious? Can we talk about Fanboys for a second then instead of Hail Caesar? You like Hail Caesar, Mike?
I fucking love Hail Caesar.
Is it on your list?
No, it's not.
Then you got nothing. Okay.
All right. Whew. I love this movie. I love the Coens when they're just being weird and doing weird comedy, and I think this is a great example of that. Alden Ehrenreich is fantastic in this. The would that it were so simple scene between him and Ray Fiennes is just so good, where it's just him repeatedly failing to say the same sentence over and over and over again. It's like the funny version of Whiplash almost. And then the plot with George Clooney, I think George Clooney is fantastic in it. Josh Brolin gives a great lead performance. The musical number of No Dames is so fun and weird and random, and I love it. it's just a really interesting like comedy mystery set in old Hollywood. I think it's really, really fun. Hail Caesar. I'm still not over fanboys being on this else's list.
I don't know that you have it higher or what the. I'm so confused.
That yikes was not a joke. That yikes was not a joke. That's legit.
Hail Caesar sucks. I'm just gonna be honest with you. This movie sucks. Like there are parts of it that's good, but this is probably the most the Coen brothers are up their own ass that I just can't stand. And I'm also a big fan. I'm going to start a petition to hopefully get some change in this country that we stop writing old love letters and kissing old Hollywood's ass for a second because it really makes really bad movies. I'm going to be honest with you. La La Land, Hail Caesar, all these movies that want to tell these old Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, all these old time talking about Hollywood, garbage. Hot garbage. This movie was weird. This movie is dumb. I sat through and I was like, why do I have to watch all these movies that come out in theaters just because they're coming out in theaters? Yeah, bad choice. Mike, you love Hail Caesar. Didn't make your list, but you can talk for like 30 seconds.
It almost made my list, actually. It got so fucking close to making my list. It's such an amazing, weird, funny fucking movie. Her almost being killed by being choked to death by the editing machine is just Coen Brothers through and through. It's just everything I love about Coen Brothers is that they can make that type of dark humor in it, and it works. It's a great fucking movie.
If you told me at the beginning of this that me and Mike were...
No, it's not.
What'd you say?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a great movie, sir.
That
We're
is
not talking
inaccurate.
about that right now. We're not talking about that.
No.
15 seconds.
Put Hail Caesar on the list, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, hey, Cam, do me a favor. Repeat after me. Would that were so simple?
Would that it were so simple?
No. Would that it were so simple?
Stop. If this is what it's going to be, I'm not dealing with this.
I really like Hail Caesar a lot, actually. I don't necessarily love the movie. I think it's probably like a B+ tier Coen Brothers film. But I think that after seeing the No Dames sequence, I really want to see them make a musical, though. I think they could do a really bang up job with a musical. And I really like some of the subtle jokes. Like, I can't remember the name of the incident, but they name an incident, and every time they do, you just hear a crow in the background. It's so great. Yeah, all right.
I actually want to go to a school where Barr's giving out grades because he gives out B+ for mediocre work just like that.
If you had told me that me and Mike were going to line up so much on this series,
we're going to go to Nazario. What's your 62?
My 62 is Richard Linklater's Before Sunset. I actually think that the whole trilogy should be considered as a one thing, but I wasn't going to waste 3 spots of a top 100 in these movies, so I decided to go with my favorite. My favorite is the middle chapter, Before Sunset, because it's not as idealistic as Before Sunrise, which actually makes it my least favorite of the 3, but it's not also as tragic as Before Midnight, which is like a bucket of cold water thrown in your face in the middle of an adult relationship. It's hard stuff to watch. But Before Sunset, it hit me right there because I basically was growing up with these movies. When this movie came out, I was in my 20s, and it really spoke to me. The relationship between Ethan Hawke and, oh God, I'm blanking on her name. Sorry for that.
Julie Delpy?
Julie Delpy. Thank you for the save. And Julie Delpy is a beautiful thing. And it sheds light on one of those idealistic things from the first movie, like, yeah, we'll meet here in a year, let's don't share numbers or whatever, and then, real life happens. We are living right now through real life with the COVID-19 thing. So you shouldn't leave those things to chance. You should be a grown-up and you should face what you want and go for it and make decisions accordingly. And this is why I like it, because they already have moved on from where they were, and their relationship still lingered in the back of their mind. So they had to be adults about it, and they had to make a choice. And Ethan Hawke does, by the end of this movie, make a choice. And it's romantic, it's realistic, it's uplifting, it's a beautiful romance movie. I really like it.
I don't like romance movies. I hate them. My wife drags me to them. I've not seen this movie. I've not seen the trilogy. The reason why I haven't is because I have to watch 3 movies, and that's 3 romance movies that I don't know if I'm gonna like. And I'm a completionist, so like with my kids, I have to watch Madagascar right now, and gosh, those things are terrible. So I don't want to like commit. Everybody else on Before Sunset.
Koho, do me a favor. Add it to my list.
I wanted to watch these, but only Before Midnight is available on Prime in Canada. So I went, nope, I'm lazy. I'm not going to watch them now. So I haven't seen them.
And I've seen Before Sunrise, but I have not seen the other 2. But I love Before Sunrise, so I'm definitely adding this one to watch.
Is this which one's the first one?
Before Sunrise.
Before Sunrise, yeah.
Sunrise,
Okay,
Sunset,
At least you
Midnight.
told I thought
Yeah,
you watched it out of order, and I was like,
Oh,
"What
no.
are you doing?" But I get you now. It makes sense. Before Sunset, Sunrise. I'm getting you again. Okay, Barr. Oh gosh, this isn't over yet. Barr, what's your 61?
I haven't really pissed off Cody with my choices this episode. I think we need to make a change with that. My number 61 is The Music Man.
Oh, we've got trouble.
Right here at
Novocaine. I need fucking Novocaine.
I love this movie. It is, yeah, it's schmaltzy, but it's so warm in its schmaltziness that it's kind of like a blanket. I love the performance of Robert Preston in this movie. Robert Preston gives one of the greatest performances in a musical I've ever seen put to film. In fact, there's a great story about how they wanted to go to Frank Sinatra for the role, and Frank Sinatra went, "I can't do this role. You have to go to Robert Preston." I think the music is fantastic. I really love songs like Till There Was You, 76 Trombones. And I think that the Shapoopy is one of the most fun songs ever. And I was actually really surprised with how well this movie is directed. This movie is actually directed and shot almost immaculately. You really capture the dancing in this really, really well. So I think The Music Man is a fantastic fucking film.
Did you say greatest performance in a musical?
Up there. I didn't say it's the greatest performance, but it's probably in the top 50.
So
we'll get there later.
The Music Man is if you would take liquid corn syrup.
Oh,
and
that's
poured it in a cavity. O.G. Willikers. Like, this is a town that doesn't. This is a town. If you walked in there, if Mike Hanley walked in there, the entire town would drop dead and incense it. He would say,
so great.
Fuck. He would say, "Fuck," and the entire music department would drop completely dead. Are you kidding?
Amazing.
This movie is such. Oh, what the hell! It's such
an amazing
bullshit.
Movie, I know.
It's such bullshit. The whole movie is just bullshit. It is.
He is a traveling salesman who's doing nothing but bullshitting to people.
Oh, Barr, I hate you. I hate you because this is not better than The Social Network. This isn't better than The Godfather Part 2. You are a sick human being. Right
I will admit that The Godfather Part 2 is a better made movie.
We're not talking. You're not talking anymore. This is my turn. Welcome to my show. You had your chance to lay the stage. Now I get to smash it with a bat. This is terrible. Like, I think this is arguably one of the worst musicals out there. I really do. I think the songs are mediocre as F. And mediocre as fuck. Sorry, I thought my kid was around. No, I think it's bad. I think it's overall bad, and you need better taste in movies. So, anybody else on The Music Man? Anybody need some candy?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, don't.
Do. Anyone else?
Hail Caesar is on Netflix. I'm watching that. I'm not watching The Music Man.
I've seen The Music Man. I like it. I think You've Got Trouble is a really fun song. 76 Trombones is great. I also really love the opening where they're just like having a conversation, Rock Island, where they're just having a conversation about him to the rhythm of a train going across the tracks. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, it's fun. I understand that it's incredibly cheesy, but that's also what old musicals were for the most part. So
That's the part that
except for one that we'll get to. There's one that we'll get to that's not cheesy, and we'll get there.
Yep.
Spoonful of sugar is what this entire movie actually is. It does not make it go down easy, though. I promise you that. Mike,
we'll get there.
Let's talk about some blood and guts.
This one does not have blood and guts. Well, some blood, but not guts.
I was needing something dark to.
I have The Hit as my 61. I believe it's Terrence Stamp's first lead movie. It's a very simple story. Terrence Stamp plays a guy that rats out people, so John Hurt and Tim Roth decide to take him to Paris to kill him. And it's mainly about their conversations together through this road trip to Paris and how they deal with each other and how Terrence Stamp tends to bridge the gap further and further between John Hurt and Tim Roth. He puts things in their minds that makes them start to doubt each other. It's a great acted movie. Like, this is an active movie. It's really about the performances. The performances are amazing. The story is really fucking good. I love this movie. It's a great fucking movie.
And he's gone. Haven't seen it. Never even knew this existed.
Haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either, but Laura del Sol is a great actress.
There was a fly in my house. I had to take care of it. I haven't seen this movie. Didn't even know it existed.
Get down.
There we go. Perfect.
Cam.
Yeah, we all are.
But guess what? I'll tell you right now, without seeing it, better than The Music Man. What is your 61, Cam?
Oh boy. I'm about to get murdered. Much like the main character in this movie does repeatedly, my number 61 is Happy Death Day. I'm sorry. Sorry.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. I'm like, what?
I really like this movie. I think it's a really fun take on both the horror, like just slasher film, and the time loop movie. And I think the idea of like, oh, there's a serial killer who's trying to kill me, but I'm getting murdered every single day, and I'm going to use that to try and figure out who it is I think a really, really interesting concept. And then you also get a lot of like really great emotional moments in it as well. Israel Broussard's character is like a great nerd character in the movie who's just like, oh, you're in a time loop. You can prove this to me. And then the scenes where like she constantly is like walking through the quad of her university, and like the first couple times she's like, what the hell is going on? And then she like just stops caring and is just like, nothing matters, and just walks butt ass naked through the quad of her university, just like middle fingers in the air. And then later on she's just like actually a caring person. It's like, oh, this dude's gonna pass out, here's a pillow, and does all this. I think it's really, really fun. The twist at the end is really cool. There's great action. There's really funny deaths in it. And the sequel's cool, too.
Hold on. I'm going to have to edit it. My air conditioner is way too effing loud. Can you still hear me?
Yeah. We can hear
you. Okay. Did you have Groundhog Day on your list?
No.
Interesting.
Have you seen Groundhog Day?
Yes.
There's too much of a question mark on that.
No, I have.
I'm really confused.
I have, but it's been
You
a while.
have.
Yes.
Okay, go home, go back tonight and watch Groundhog Day, and then you'll put the correct one about Groundhog Day on your list and not this movie. This movie's fine. I don't hate the choice of it, but this is like Groundhog Day with just a murderer. It's just, and without Bill Murray. There's all problems with this on your list. I don't hate it. I just confused. A little bit judgmental. I don't know. But I saw it once. I was like, cool, she dies. Like, figure it out. And then they came out with a second one, and I wanted to shoot myself.
Oh, the sequel's really cool. It's like a sci-fi movie.
Oh, I imagine. So cool. Yeah, no. What do you guys think?
I'm adding this to the list myself since Koho won't do it.
Why? You need Happy Death Day? Well, I know what's coming.
I wonder what it's movie.
Thanks, Koho.
I like the movie. I'm sad to hear that the girl who plays Danielle got coronavirus. I hope she's okay because I like her. They made a very successful turn into sci-fi for the sequel. It's not as weird and interesting as Alien turning into Aliens, but it's actually pretty hard to do, and they pulled it off beautifully. The haunted house on Universal Studios was great 2 years ago, and the baby is kind of dumb for a mask for a killer. But other than that, this is a perfectly okay movie that doesn't belong in a top 100.
That's your opinion.
Cody said it perfectly. It's Groundhog Day, but with a murderer. I'm all in. I love both this and the second movie. These are great fucking movies. It's a great fucking time, man. It is such a fun fucking movie. I can't believe Cameron has this type of movie on his list based on how he feels about horror movies, but I'm so fucking glad you do. These are fun fucking movies.
I like alternate takes on the horror formula because I don't like horror.
All right. I wonder what your 61 is.
David Fincher is back on my list with Fight Club.
No one else has it. Okay. I think someone had it. Wasn't this Yext from someone? I thought it was.
No, this was on the other. This is
on the other one.
This is from the one that got recorded 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nazario.
This is actually pretty surprising because I actually did expect people to have this on their list, but let's speak about this guy's taste, though. Well, this movie, it's amazing. This is David Fincher just showing up and saying, "Here I am, and I'm not going anywhere." He had made another movie that is another couple of movies that were pretty great before this, but this is the one that kind of made a name for himself. It's Edward Norton is great as the main nameless character, Jack. Helena Bonham Carter, Cody's favorite actress, is also amazing and Marla in this movie. And Brad Pitt is playing against type of kind of down, kind of isn't at the same time, which is kind of a hard thing to validate. A lot of people that I know argue that the central concept of the movie of people wanting to fight each other just to take out their aggression is not really something you can relate to real life. I disagree completely. Sometimes you just feel like punching people, and it's a very relaxing thing to do. If you can live through it in a movie, you don't have to do it yourself. The movie is smart, it's great, it has an awesome soundtrack, and it's something that will stay with you after you've seen it. I hope that by now everybody knows the twist. I'm not gonna say it just in case there's a weird person that hasn't seen Fight Club in the last 21 years, but it's really smart, it's really interesting, and the ending is just like Barr says.
Be really weird if there's still no one has seen it, and we're in December, guys. You've had time. Coronavirus has lasted until October. You should have had plenty of time to watch movies. Top 10 overrated movie of the 90s? Probably Fight Club in my eyes. I think it's fine. I don't get the love and the hype over it. I think Fincher has done way better than this one. Which, I mean, he improves on. I'm not a huge fan of this one. I think it just loses rewatchability for me. I think that's the main reason. And there's some people that are really obsessed with this movie, which is fine. I'm just not. What does everybody else think about this?
All right. Where's my list?
Oh, God.
Here's my thing. I haven't gotten around to this movie yet because I've
He's watching The Music Man. That's why.
For the 7th time. I haven't gotten around to this movie because A, I've heard mixed things about it. And B, from the people that I know who really love this movie, they're the same people who thought Nietzsche was the most brilliant mind of all time, and they were pretentious and I didn't like them. So I kind of stayed away from the movie because of that.
Do you hate soap?
I do.
I love this movie. this was in my 90s for a little bit before other movies took it out. But I love this movie completely. It's an amazing fucking movie. It's Edward Norton and Brad Pitt are great together. Carter is great in this. I think this is my favorite role of hers, actually. I love this movie.
I do not like this movie. I found it annoying. I found none of the characters likable. I found it incredibly frustrating. I think it doesn't help with the whole like bro culture that has surrounded this movie because it's a bunch of college dudes who don't understand what the movie's about. But just like I didn't like this movie the one time I saw it, and I have not gone back to it.
And I just want to make one quick correction. I said Nietzsche when I meant to say Machiavelli. Don't hurt me, my friend Pete.
What?
That person, we don't watch the show. Okay. No one's going to call you anything that watches the show. Okay. We survived. We didn't have a lot of fun. We had some. We had some terrible takes. We had some good takes.
Cody never has any fun on this show.
I don't know why I do this. Maybe it's therapy. I don't know. Deal with people with bad taste. I'll be back next week. We've done enough of these. We'll get closer to the overall. Andrew Barr by far probably had the worst one. No, I don't know. No, I mean Back to the Future at 66. Music Man, fine, whatever. Next one, Mike. Mike had less blood, so I mean he's improving. He's getting better, but he had Event Horizon, which I don't think anybody agrees with. Cam, he started okay. He ended bad, and then real bad. And Nazario, well, what's the rule of Fight Club? You all know it. Okay. So next week, we'll be back. There's stuff added. I don't know if he created the new title. Yes, we have more. It's on multiple pages now, but I think Barr has taken the lead with the most yikes so far. Maybe. We'll see if Mike in a second. No, yep. 66, really Barr. All right. So, thank you all for watching. We'll be back for the next week. Maybe I'll see some more movies that they put on the list. Maybe not. I don't really care. Anyways, see you next week. Bye-bye.